Hi, and welcome to CEO Confidential from Frank Pagano and Pierangelo Soldavini.
Hi, welcome. We are back to talk about new tech and leadership today.
We have the pleasure, the honor to have with us today a true maestro. Welcome to the show, Denis. Right off the bat, who are you? What do you do for a living?
My name is Denis Terrien. I am the CEO of Salesforce in Southern Europe. It's a region which regroups not only Italy, but France, Portugal, Spain, all the Mediterranean countries, Middle East, and Africa. I have lived and worked in most of the countries in Europe. I actually lived in Italy as a child for 6 years, so my heart is in Italy. And on top of that, I'm also the chairman of the French Institute of Directors, and I represent chairman for the evolution of governance.
Okay, so let's start, Dennis, with a general question about leadership. We know that we need leadership today from many points of view. From your point of view, what is leadership today and who is the leader?
I like your question because the crisis of today has highlighted true and real leaders that could go over the different crises that we're living through. So, what is a leader? A leader is somebody that can set a vision and missions for his or her company. Then she has to define strategies to create values for all the stakeholders of the company. This is what a leader has to do. On the human side, a leader has to help individually each person of her organization to become a better version of themselves and collectively to unleash the full potential of teams. Eventually, on the societal side, then a leader, especially a company, has to ensure that they help create a better world. So those are the three elements that a leader has to do.
So let's remain on the rules of three and come back to the business level. Which are the three must-have factors of the CEO in the near future?
In the near future, CEOs and leaders have to realize that their role has changed. The role has changed because in an accelerated changes, whether it's digital, environmental, or societal, and uncertainties brought by the COVID, then the CEO has to run a company because we believe at Salesforce that the companies are the best platform for change. And CEOs have to understand and live through it. So they not only have to do well, they have to do good. And in order to do so, they have to become more agile. That's the number one. The number two is that they need to have strong values for themselves and build those values for the company. And number three is how to lead people. You have to show empathy and humility. So those are the three elements which I believe are important, especially today in this period of great changes or accelerated changes brought by the COVID.
Denis, a question now that sounds like Russian roulette. We have an opinion together with Pierangelo, so we can change things thanks to new technologies, sustainability, marketing, or leadership. You only have one bullet. Where should we start?
I think that it has to be a balance. Today, technology and sustainability go hand in hand, and you cannot go with one without going with the other. If you look at the great challenges we have, the changes in society, the challenge with the climate, and the transformation that we have with digital, we have to use digital to help create a better society. At Salesforce, we work, for example, in telemedicine, or we support companies that work in zero emission transport. In order to do that, you need better data management and software that can make your business more sustainable and smarter. Digitalization is not just a business tool for employees or employee. It can help also, not only improve the business, but bring new skills and train more people and put them back in in the work environment. So we know it is complex. This is what we've built at Salesforce. We've built, sustainable cloud, which help companies, embrace and track, analyze, and report all those elements. So for us, sustainability and digital go hand in hand, and this is what leaders have to realize, that this is the world they are in today, embrace, and be the actor of that change within the company and in society.
Still on sustainability, and you mentioned it, and you're totally right. The linear model is dead, and actually the house is on fire. But let's be clear, how bad is the current situation? So how much time do we have for real before it's too late?
Okay. It is true that the clock is ticking, but I believe it is not too late. Maybe I'm still a humanist, but I'd rather be on that side of the pound than the other. However, we need to act. We need to act now. At Salesforce, we believe that businesses is the best platform for change. It is thus to businesses to accelerate the way they address those major challenges, such as climate and social inequalities. Businesses have to take bold and ambitious actions, and they have to demonstrate the integrity in their sustainable goals. It is not just PR and good for communication. They actually have to do it every day, and it has to be incorporated in the business model. At Salesforce, for example, we've developed the 1-1-1 model, which is you give 1% of your profit to good causes. You spend 1% of your time, which is about 50 hours a year, and you give 1% of your product. We give them to schools and NGOs. And all this is part of the company since it was created 20 years ago. And we're proud because this 1-1-1 model has been taken by over 9,000 companies today. So this is the commitment that an individual company can take, but also lead other companies to act to make a better world.
Yes, as you said, we need to act. The linear model is dead. We should adopt a more circular model. What is circularity, in your opinion?
Okay, circularity model is a very interesting topic. The aim on circularity economy is that growth can focus as well on positively on society and can create wide benefit. There are a couple of schools. One is the Ellen MacArthur Foundation that has thought a lot about that. Another school of thought is Gunther Pauli, who's a Belgian person who created what he calls the blue economy, and where after processing some goods, then you have more positive impact on the world that you had before. So in your business model, each leader has to look at the negative impact on society, not only reduce the negative impact, but also try to create even more positive impact to society. At Salesforce, we are engaged in that path. We are 100% engaged in that path. For example, over 100 people at Salesforce engage in what we call Lightforce project with partners like Capgemini or clients like Engie. And we work in 4 different countries, Brazil, Kenya, Senegal, and the Philippines last year, with an overall budget of about 300,000 euros. And here it was to help those NGOs like Litter of Light and other NGOs recycle, reuse, and create a better world locally. So this is what we do. Each company has the power to impact its own environment, and this is our call for action.
Yes, of course, the call of action is not so easy for the business. Translating the model into reality is quite hard today, especially in an emergency period. How does circularity fit in with the business, especially creating often some stress on the supply chain? Do you have the real models, positive models on this, and how do you behave on this?
Okay, this is a very good question. It is right that supply chain is challenged with the circular economy and has been either further challenged with the COVID and other, geopolitical positions that were taken by certain countries. So first of all, he has to set. We talked about what a leader has to do. He has to set, vision and mission and objective. Salesforce has long been committed to setting very ambitious climate targets. Not only we are aligned with the science-based target initiative, but we signed the 1.5-degree pledge, and we're making bold emission reduction in all our supply chain, and to inspire changes to go beyond our four walls. We're working with partners like Adidas, for example, the shoe company. We've partnered with them and their collaboration with Poly to make shoes with plastic waste found in the oceans. And that could be done through a platform which is called 360 degree, customer 360 degree. I mentioned before the sustainable cloud that we've created that can very quickly track, analyze, and report on all the environment data and reduce carbon emission. So, those initiatives, you must have a big vision, but have to look individually in your own processes, what you can do, and you need to track in detail all the operation and go on and move. I think if there's not a magic bullet, but if each business start with strong objective, actions to take, and are able to measure them with our clouds, then I think we will create a better world.
Thank you, Denis. I agree with you. There's no silver bullet. But if we had to pick, what is the single most impactful program that we, as a group of businesses and society, we can put in place to avoid disaster?
Okay, so what we can see is that climate crisis. If you address that, you also address two other elements: inequalities and racism. And by addressing that as well, you can strengthen the economy and promote global health. So all those elements are linked together to create a better world. Yes, the clock is ticking. Failure to address the climate at scale and speed will threaten the world and humanity. As I shared before, we believe that businesses are the best